All right, joining CSL now, comedian Frank Caliendo, who's actually going to be in Charlotte this Sunday, the 15th, at the Comedy Zone. One show only, 7 o'clock. So get your tickets now, August 15th. That is a Sunday. So, Frank, you've been here before. Happy to be back.
Absolutely. I don't know. You look like I was lying about that. Like, all comedians, I can't wait to be there in Charlotte. Yeah, I actually really love. I've always loved Charlotte. I don't know what it is, but people are always gracious, very fun, and it's a mix of it's a city in the South, and it's not like way south. I grew up in the Midwest, so I still feel like I assimilate pretty well and have a lot of fun.
When did you do your first impersonation? Because I like to picture it like this: you impersonating your, sixth grade teacher, not going well with her, but the class loved it, type of deal.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not that far off. And I call them impressions because to me, an impersonation is like you're trying to be the person. I try to have like a little bit of a take. Dana Carvey was the greatest at it, I thought. I'm starting to do Mel Kiper Jr. Wasn't even trying to do it, but the cadence started to happen. Low risk, high reward. So the impression's a little bit of a take. So for me, it was in high school. I probably did a little bit before this, but high school is where I really started to hone it. I had the basketball coach was Mr. Christensen, Mark Christensen, who was also the geography and history coach. And as a student in the United States of America, I knew nothing about what, he's like, could you point to the United States on this map? And I would go, just to make him mad, I'd point to the blue. He's like, Frank, that's the ocean. I'm like, yeah, so maybe you shouldn't call on me anymore. But, I do that. We're going to go shoot some free throws, run a few laps, and then shoot some more free throws. Get tired, so you're gonna work harder.
What's your favorite one, and what's the one that everyone loves, but you're like, I really don't like doing this one, but I'll do it because everyone loves it?
I don't know if I have. I mean, Madden is kind of old to me, but at the same time, I use it in examples. But if somebody says, "Hey, do some John Madden," I'm like, "Here's a guy from 2003," something like that. I was coaching flag football, and my son was playing, and the coach is like, "Great to be coaching against John Madden." I'm like, "I'm closer to Steve Madden than John Madden." You're not. If you get the win, you didn't beat John Gruden. I'll tell you what, man. You did a really great job running that Spider 2 wide banana here in the Gridiron Football League, man. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's one that I dislike. I mean, sometimes I like the old ones, but then people are like, "Oh, can't you do anything new?" So, whatever. I'm always working on some, and when they're new, people don't like them. They're like, "Oh, that's not that good." I'm like, "Well, I'm more of a magician than a wizard. A wizard could just conjure up a spell. I got to work on tricks, and you got to figure out, where's the deception and where's the sleight of hand."
Have you ever had someone beg you to impersonate them or to do an impression of them, and you're just like, I don't know, I don't have one ready for you, but they were just insistent that they wanted you to do one of them?
Not besides you before we went on the air.
It was between you and I, Frank.
No, did I break that sacred bond we had? No. I've had some people come up and say, "Hey, can you do an impression of me?" I've had other people, like one time, Stephen A. Smith years and years ago, "Whatever you do, Mr. Caliendo, don't ever do me." And I was like, he was kind of joking, but it was in a hotel right at an elevator. He said that, and then the elevator closed, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was hilarious." But different people, because people see, Barkley's always said, "Thank you, Charles Barkley's like, it's really, really great that you do me because I end up making a lot more money from commercials. Thank you." That's what happens is people think it's going to hurt their money. It's going to hurt what they do, especially the sports people. But it turns out, no, people can write for these commercials much, much easier.
What's your stand-up routine like? Are you yourself like 20% of the time and just somebody else 80%? What is your routine?
I go in and out of it. It's a lot like what we're doing right here. I just talk to invisible people in my head that talk back, and I do their part too. It's a puppet show. No, it's almost like left brain, right brain thing, like a ventriloquist, but I'm the dummy as well, and you can choose which. There's a lot more to that than I meant for it to be. But yeah, I would just go in and out, and I like to tell stories. When I first started, I would do a lot of just go into the impression and just be the impression the whole time. But now it's more about, hey, set the person up. What do they do that makes them interesting? For an example, Al Pacino, he's always amazed by everything. It's like, whoa, like you could turn on a light and you'd be like, wait a second, you flip a switch over here, a light goes on over there. This is sorcery. So it's what's the take on the person. John Madden would explain everything. Morgan Freeman, I've decided I could narrate this entire thing and it would sound so much better. That's what was going through Frank's head right now. So, I play with those little things and what people are known for and that type of stuff. But it's definitely important to set it up and you get the feeling of it's almost observational comedy about the person and then go into it. But I also do bits about my family and that type of stuff as well.
So do you ever accidentally slip up, like you're in an important situation or, someone in your family is yelling at you and you're in trouble and you just slip up into character by accident?
No, but one, because I don't want to get divorced if it's with my wife. And that's when Frank realized the papers were about to be served. No, I'll tell you what, man, you going to argue with me right now? Is that what you're going to do?
There's no way I could control myself. Like if I had the ability to do this and my wife was yelling at me, I would just to diffuse it all, or just to end it. I go into 10 different characters.
Diffuse. That you got it completely wrong. It doesn't diffuse. It just
Fair.
makes my wife mad. That's all it does.
All right, we got quick six coming up. You're going to stick around, and you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, I'll make it happen.